Hey guys, Lady Lee here, and in this video I want to show you how I ferment turnips. My canner here is cooling down. I just canned some milk, so if there are funny background noises, it's from the canner. Anyway, I don't even like turnips. I really don't like turnips. I don't grow them in my garden. I know some people love eating them just like they eat apples. I don't really care for turnips that much. I never buy them and I never grow them in my garden. But a couple of weeks ago I got a huge bag of turnips as a gift, and I just, I couldn't just feed them to the goats. I had to find a way to prepare them in a way that I will like them. Now, I have the same thing with radish, same relationship. Super easy to grow, super fast to grow in the early spring when you really want to eat something fresh from the garden. It's beautiful, it's red, it's so nice. I mean, it's perfect, but I just don't like the taste of it. So then a couple of years ago, I tried to ferment my radish, and I found out that it came out really good and I loved it. So when I got that big bag of turnips, I immediately thought, okay, let me try to ferment those turnips and see if I would love them or like them that way. And the fermenting process did not disappoint. I love fermenting stuff. It's super easy and it turns everything into that crunchy, soury goodness. During the fermentation process, good bacteria develops inside the jar and the brine, and these vegetables are just so healthy for our digestive system and for our overall health. And it's amazing to me how something so healthy can be so simple, no need to work hard for it or anything. So that's what I want to show you today. And I just have 5 turnips left from that huge bag that I received. I fermented and we ate a few jars already. So we'll do those last 5. And again, there is a blog post on the blog if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on the blog post, then you can scroll down and print the recipe if you want. If you are watching this on YouTube, then make sure to go to the blog, and you have a step-by-step picture instructions over there, and you can also print a recipe. Other than that, make sure you please subscribe to my channel and like, so YouTube will be kind enough to show this to more people. Alright, let's start by preparing our turnips. The first thing that I do is peel them. I cut already the top and the bottom, and I just use a vegetable peeler to peel the skin, just like this, kind of like you do with the apple. And after I peel them, I cut them kind of like I cut French fries. So let me change the angle of the camera so you can see better. Alright, so I cut them kind of like I cut potatoes when I make French fries. You can cut them any way you like, it doesn't really matter. I hope you can see this. Kind of like French fries, and I'll leave them aside for a minute until I do all of them. They're probably about 1 centimeter thick, You can cut them any way you like. You just don't want them to be too big of a pieces. of course you want fresh turnips. Some of these are a little old, but I think they'll still be okay. And you guys, you can literally do the same thing with any kind of root vegetable. Radishes, carrots. All right, I don't know if all of this will fit in a pint jar. I usually do all my fermenting in quart jars, but I didn't think that will fill a quart jar, so I went for a pint. So let's see how that goes. So once I have them all cut, I'm just gonna I have a clean jar here. So I washed it with warm water and it's clean, and I'm just gonna add the turnips kind of halfway. All right, and then we're gonna season it. Now there are no rules here, you guys. You do whatever you want. I'm gonna do maybe half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. I have about 6 whole black peppers. I got some dill from the garden, so let's try that. I'm gonna just take the big stem out. I'm gonna put those in, kind of stick them in, maybe a little bit more. All right, that's good. Again, there are no rules. You can put chili flakes, you can put dry red peppers, you can like whole peppers, whatever you like. I'm also gonna put garlic because garlic is just good anywhere. So just 1 clove, I'm not peeling it, I just crushed it a little bit, and I'm gonna stick it here, just like that. And then I'm gonna fill the jar all the way with some more turnips. All right, I want to leave about an inch or so of headspace. You guys, you know what? I messed up here because my fermentation weight is not gonna fit on this jar. It's a regular mouth jar and I need a wide mouth. Totally forgot about that. So I'm gonna take this out, no big deal. We are just going to use this one instead. It's not a quart, it's one size smaller. All right, so just like that. It's a very forgiving process, as you can see, and I think this will fit more. I still have all my seasonings here at the bottom, so that's fine. I'll just fill the rest with turnips, and I want to leave about an inch of headspace. Okay, so the fermentation weight is going to go on top. We want to leave some room for it because we're going to close the jar on top of it. Okay, so the next step is to make the brine, and the easiest way to remember it is just 1 teaspoon, and I'm using kosher salt. 1 teaspoon of salt per 1 cup of water. So I have 2 cups of water here, and I'm adding 2 tablespoons of salt, and I'm just gonna stir it until it all dissolves. All right, think that's good. Now what I'm gonna do is just add the water on top of the turnips. Now, in order to not have mold develop on top of the vegetables here, we have to push them under the brine. And I can tell you that you can find online all kind of tricks to do that. I used those tricks for many years because I did not have fermentation weight. So some people put like a piece of apple here or the core of the cabbage or whatever. I'll tell you, sometimes the mold grow on the cabbage or the apple or whatever you use. Some places you'll see people use rocks, like just wash a rock and put it on top. I lost many jars of fermented food because mold grew on top of whatever I came up with to use as weight. So I really recommend that you buy the fermentation weight. It's really not that big of an expense, and it really makes everything so much easier. You do need to use wide mouth jars when you use the weight. So, all right, so I'm closing it just finger tight, not too tight. And that's it you guys. I'm gonna place this on a plate. I'll go get a plate, I'll be right back. All right, so I got a plate and I'm gonna place this jar on the plate, and I'm gonna put this on my kitchen counter to ferment. Now, during the fermentation process, you will see some bubbles starting to come up, and you know, there'll be some good bubble action over here. That's why I'm putting the plate under, to catch whatever brine is spilling out of the jar, which is normal and fine. Now, you can buy an airlock fermentation lead, which is a lead that have kind of a device on top of it, and it lets the gases that are created in the jar during the fermentation process escape without having oxygen touching the brine. But it's fine to use just a regular lead. And by the way, it's better if you use a plastic freezer lead. You can use the metal ones. Just make sure that you don't get rust on them if you use them, you know, multiple times. But if you don't have one of those fermentation leads, then you're gonna have to let the gases escape on your own. And this is really easy. All that we do is just turn the bend just a little bit to kind of release the hold of it on the lead, and then we close it again. That's it. We don't open the jar completely, so oxygen will not touch the brine. This will probably take about 7 days for this size of jar. And what will happen in those 7 days is all this brine will start to be very like cloudy, and you'll notice that it's not clear like it is right now. Then after about 7 to 10 days, it will clear up again. It won't never be as clear as this, but it will change noticeably. Once it changed to clear again, then you know that your fermented turnips are ready to eat. And that's it. That's all there is to it. I have left fermented food out on the counter for a few weeks, but it is better once it's done to store it in the fridge or in some sort of cold storage. If you have a root cellar, that's great. I leave my weight on it to make sure that the vegetables are always under the brine, and it's a great snack or a great side, you know, if you feel like munching on something in the middle of the day instead of grabbing a cookie or whatever, you can grab some fermented vegetables. It's a really good snack, and of course it's a great side for sandwiches or whatever else. Very healthy, really good bacteria for our digestive system, and super easy to do. You can get creative and you can mix in beets and carrots and radish and do mixed vegetables, change the seasonings. You know, you can just get creative, but that is the basic lacto fermented turnip recipe that I use. And that's it. Again, I will link below to the blog post, and you can print that recipe if you need to over there, and also find the step-by-step picture tutorial over there. And please subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.